think. Wait, let me make sure that's right.
I have a plan if he fails.
Are you just gonna knock him out or something?
I'm gonna walk up and smolder at him real hard.
Alright, so yeah, he's got this. And they've got a lot lower than that, I'm pretty sure. Where's your average stormtrooper?
I don't think they should be average. I think they should even have like additional checks because their core security would be like so integral to the base.
He manages to convince them, and they're like, "Oh, well, here you go, sir." And he looks at it. He pulls out his data pad, plugs it in, and unplugs it. And it's like, "Oh, you have the wrong codes. You need to go back and get. We have this new system now."
Actually, I think it should just all clear. Give them back their card, right? Because we're going to use the same code to get in.
Okay.
If we send them back and say they had the wrong code, and they report back to ask for a code, and they see that the code is correct. Huh?
Yeah.
So,
all right.
We're going to let them go. We just have the code now.
Okay. So he looks at it and says,
all clear?
All clear. So here you go. Sorry about this. Just wanted to make sure everything was running smoothly. And they salute him, and he lets him go off. All right. So he looks back at you and is like, all right, so we've got the codes.
All right. So we'll wait for the next shift change, and then we'll head into the core.
All right. So you're going to be waiting in-game 15 minutes. 20 minutes. I said 20. So another 20 minutes. So 20 minutes go by and shift change.
Okay. We're gonna go in with the next shift.
All right. So
we'll just walk behind them, like follow them in, with a look of authority.
Yeah. And then once they're there, they're like, "Oh, are you trying to get in, sir?"
Yes. Here's the code.
They look at it and they're like, "Yep, everything checks out." So they hand it back and go on in. And
okay. We'll just follow those stormtroopers in.
Oh no, they just let you in because they got to keep guard in case more people go in.
All right. Okay. So we'll head in, and I'm gonna activate my my local disruptor to stop like security coverage and communications within the area.
So he'll okay.
Actually, not just yet because I don't want to. They try to communicate. I don't want there to be like, "Oh, why can't we communicate? What's going on?" Alert. Okay, so we're in the main core. What do we see? Dustle and I are going to be looking for like a primary terminal. I don't know if that's going to be easy to access or if there's going to be like a large number of terminals or if there's like, this is a huge complex down here. What are we dealing with?
So you get there, and it's just like this big old reactor, just like, kind of like the power core in the first Iron Man, the big old reactor. And except it's red, because evil. So he looks at you and is like, "Well, I think that's it. We're gonna need a really big bomb, though."
We don't need a bomb. I got something better than a bomb. You don't know this, but it's been in your back pocket this whole time. I put it on you before we left the ship. Pull out your data pad.
He does.
All right, search for keyword, etc., or something. So he pulls up the keyword, and it's going to outlay this worm virus that jumps from local system to local system. And so my next question.
I'm guessing you're explaining it to him.
Yeah. Well, I'm not explaining because I don't want to be overheard. But like, so this is what we're working with. For obvious reasons, I couldn't tell you unless I knew I had your cooperation. So my next question to you, or maybe I've looked this up already, so I'm going to tell them like, so we don't have to worry about escaping an explosion. What we have to worry about is how long does it take for this station to
crash,
deorbit into the planet? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that.
Sounds about right. Should be enough to get to our ship. Well, at least for one of us to get to the ship.
Indeed. So let's approach the data terminal, I guess. if it's no other obstacles in the way.
All right, so he walks over. He walks over and he plugs it in. Presses a button. Data sent, and you kind of see the power go. Like it just kind of react. No, it just reactivates because it's just processing this new data.
Okay. So this is that technology I was talking to you about that we've been working on with the Republic for months to counter the B9 threat. And
Yeah.
it's going to be a virus that jumps from like computer system to computer system, and what it mainly does is just shut things down for the most part, and they might reset if they're considered nonviolent. But it's definitely going to shut down the power system, and that it'll destabilize its orbit. But it piggybacks on signals everywhere, and it looks for B9 AI, and it scrambles it and removes it from any hardware.
All right, so I'm gonna start.
And because it rides signals, it should go through the galaxy over a course of time.
All right. I don't know if he knows what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah, boy.
No, I know. Yeah.
So we could resolve everything that happens here because that's an effect that's going to take time, and then see if he even knows about it. Because by the time it hits a B9, like they're scrambled, deleted, it doesn't have time to transfer a warning to the other B9s.
Yeah.
And even if it would just be transmitting the virus.
I mean, if anything, he's just gonna see that it just got deactivated. That's all he's gonna know.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But then even that, like, there would have to be a ping or something that's transmitting that it's active or deactive. So that's, once again, that's just a jump for the virus.
Yep.
So.
Well, the long-lived reign of B9 might be
Get
at an
Halo
end.
purged, bitch.
Man, he is the Flood.
Yeah.
Dead one.
Oh, I don't know. I can't determine that maybe you thought this was coming and had a plan or something like that. But we've been working on this ever since I knew you were turning into an evil hive mind thing. This is months back.
All right, so
We started talking about it when you were locked into the vault the first time. Before we let you out again. Just in case, this was our fallback. But it's also going to collapse the Starforge into the planet, which will destabilize the Empire, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so...
considering they don't actually really have any financial things, considering their only financing is the planets they've conquered. And they haven't been using those to make their weapons, they've been using this.
Right.
So any military stability they had
Right,
is
the
gone.
Empire rests on a militaristic kind of structure.
I mean, they might still survive everything else-wise.
Sure, but this is my bet. So.
Yeah.
So the power core starts to destabilize. You said it powered back up. What's
Yep.
the deal?
It just powered back up so that way it can process it.
Okay.
And he looks at, Duster looks over and says, all right, so I think we should probably start heading out now before it actually starts crashing.
All right. You follow me. I follow you.
I'll
Let's head
follow
back
you.
out.
I'll follow you.
Okay. Well, let's get the fuck out of here before we start to lose orbit.
Agreed.
All right. So we're going to calmly head back towards the exit.
All right.
And
Nobody questions anything. And
nobody questions anything. There's no question of like, hey, our comms aren't working. Just we're just gonna walk the fuck out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's.
And you start to get towards the hangar, and that's when you just hear this loud wave throughout the.
I was actually kind of hoping it would have started destabilizing orbit and we'd have to escape while like panic ensues.
I figured it was more.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Plus, it gives. Plus,
But wouldn't people be like figuring out what the fuck's going on when like all the B9s start to like?
Well, that's
Go
why.
limp.
That's why I was giving it a little bit of a.
Okay. All right, so we're heading to the ship.
Yep. So, and as you're getting on the ship, one of the soldiers walks up to you guys and says, "Do you know what's going on? Something's going on. The forge, it's falling up out of orbit. We have no idea what's going on."
Check to throw some bureaucratic shit at him.
Is that what you tell him?
No, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna do a check to throw some bureaucratic shit at him.
All right.
What are you waiting for? Sound the alarm.
All right. Give a.
Evacuate executive personnel. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say give. What kind of check would be good for that?
Deception.
No, because you're not really deceiving them.
Cool. Leadership.
Yeah, go ahead with leadership.
I have 3 of that.
All right.
And that's presence. I also have 3.
All right. So
3 is like my magic number.
So you have 3 yellow. All right, you convince him, and he's like, "Yes, sir," and he just runs off and goes towards like the nearby terminal. And is like, "Everyone, quickly evacuate! The Star Forge is crashing!" And all of a sudden, you hear alarms going, "Rrr, rrr, rrr," and now everybody's panicking.
All right, so
At this point,
Dustle hasn't tried to kill me yet.
he's waiting.
Okay.
He's biding his time.
All right.
And at this point, Jeff, you notice one of your first of the B9s goes deactive. And of course, you've probably been sent the signal that the Star Forge is crashing. It's falling from orbit.
I can hear the hamster wheel turning.
And at this point, another guard comes up to you guys as you're like just about to actually get out of there. Like you're sitting in the pilot seat, like ready to just
Go.
And one of them comes in and is like, "Sir, what are we supposed to do?" And Dustle looks over at him and says, "Well, this man's the one who did it." And he points to you. "I was waiting on one of you guys to show up. We need to arrest him." And he looks and he's like, "Yes, sir." And he starts to go over to you to arrest you.
I was expecting this. Okay, so does he try to slap me in cuffs?
Yeah.
He cannot physically interact with me because I am incorporeal.
Didn't you touch things?
No, I've been actually very careful in my description. Dustle had the data pack in his back pocket.
Except you gave him a data pad. You gave him one data.
That was before we actually went into the last time I interacted with him was when we actually landed the ship.
Yeah, because when you went out of your ship, you handed him a data pad.
Yeah, at the terminal.
Yeah.
That was the last time I actually physically interacted with him.
So when did you do the trade-off?
Huh?
When did you do the trade-off?
That's when I also put the thing in his back pocket.
But when did you do the trade-off of the real you versus corporeal?
Oh, between scenes.
Okay.
Well, I couldn't tell you about it, or you would have metagamed it.
But I don't know when it would have made sense for you to be.
I mean, I'm still on the station. Like I have to be like in semi-local proximity for this thing to work.
Yeah.
Obviously. But I'm not physically with him.
And of course, he's like coming up with the same logic that I am. That's like, well, I gave him the data pad at some point. He's got to be on here somewhere. And he looks at the guard and is like, "He's on here somewhere. Get him! I want him." And so the guard's like,
So my projection me stands up, walks through the guard, looks at Dustin and say, "Sorry, kid, but we
oh
both
my
learned
gosh,
this."
are you doing what I think you're doing?
What? Tell me what you think I'm doing.
Well, I want to be careful because I know he still hasn't seen it. Last Jedi.
Sorry, kid.
Last Jedi.
But we both win in this situation. Bye.
Did you just pull a Last Jedi on your son?
With regards to
that one scene with
Han?
Luke.
Luke?
The Luke scene.
Oh yeah, that was kind of sort of, but not by
not
force
intentionally.
powers.
It just kind
But
of.
not by force powers.
Was it intentional that you did that, or did it just happen that way?
No, I planned.
Okay, so you did plan to do it this way.
The whole
Okay.
way. I just didn't know exactly
Okay.
how it would play out.
Got it.
I can't read the futures. But
So
that was my inspiration. Yes.
that's what I thought.
I didn't know if you were referencing like a
No. I knew.
a Kylo Ren killing Han
No,
kind of thing.
no. Anyways.
Because I thought he was gonna try to kill me in the core, and it would play out kind of like that.
Oh no, I think it made more sense for him to try to frame you up.
Where he tries to like kill me, and I make it look like he hit me, and like my projection jumps off the balcony and falls into the core or something.
I just figured it made more sense for him to kind of just be like, "Oh yeah, he did it. Get him." Because then it makes it easier for him to like.
Well, now he's got to explain his compliance with this effort. Because all the security feeds upwards of, but not included in the data breach of the data core because I scrambled it, will show him assisting me. So.
I think he could come up with a good excuse.
Uh,
Duress. I mean, that's the easy get out of jail free card.
Sure. Duress until now. At the same opportunity at every other point. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So how does he react?
So he's just like, well, I guess I want to live. So he sits there and he starts to start up the ship.
Okay, so...
he's assuming you're not in the ship, although you could very well be.
I'm actually in one of the similar ships, like, close by.
Yeah.
And I'm also preparing to take off at this time. So...
I mean, he got that part of you. The I want to live part. He got something from you.
So,
even if you didn't raise him. Which is why he hates you.
He'll love me for this, though. I guarantee it.
So he starts to fly off, and he's like...
That's our thing. We trick each other.
Wait, did you blow up the Starforge?
They're in the process of... Well, it's not blowing up.
I dropped it out of orbit.
And,
So...
I
think I've escaped.
Yeah, everybody's escaped, except for the people probably on the Starforge.
And all the B9s.
And all the B9s on the Starforge at the very least.
Yeah, and it's only a matter of time until it starts to affect B9s outside the system.
Yeah.
So.
Not if they're all fixing to die.
Oh yeah, because how are they going to send signals?
What's that?
How will they send signals once they die other than...
Because it's writing like every communication and signal burst and like we
Oh,
send,
so
like,
actually... So
we're
yeah,
sending
technically...
like hyperspeed 10
So technically
speed
by...
messages from system
So
to
technically...
system.
So technically your communication to your own son, it's writing that right now.
Yeah.
It's just not going to power that off because it's not looking for that.
No, the only thing it affected like technically was the system's power core. Everything else is just it's AI seeking.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's not looking for that, so it's not going to affect it.
Right.
Huh. Okay, so, wow, Starforge is gone.
Describe it.
And so,
Ain't that a shame?
and B9 will eventually follow. Eventually. It's okay. I've got plans.
As does B9.
I was personally thinking like this is like where the story starts to close up to an end because I don't see like
Well, the
too many
main
more ways that this could roll out.
this
but-
specific story's ending, but there's a story that follows up that's connected.
Okay.
And
Well,
B9 makes a hell of a
That's the close of my chapter. We'll come back to me if there's more, like after all you guys do your
Yeah.
stuff. So, back to you guys.
All right. So.
Flow strikes back.
So yeah, what do you? Is there? Any, so now
Return of the flow.
3 days have passed. What's your intellect?
Mine?
No, his straight up intellect. What's your straight up intellect?
5.
5.
Yeah.
This will be interesting indeed.
So you go to kill Sion and he's like, I'll suck your dick.
About my girl.
I'll eat your pussy.
All right, so the guard walks over to you and says, "Yeah, he hasn't been doing anything since being held here. I mean, not
What
much.
can he do? Wobble?
I mean, all he's done is sit in his chair. He hasn't even like done anything. And you guys walk over there, and you see him just sitting there.
time, Mamoon, whatever.
He doesn't spit this time.
This doesn't necessarily mean your character dies, because your specific centralization of
What
the
are you
B9
doing?
personality, you see what I'm saying? Is
Hold
you
on, I'll
could
wait till-
argue it as kind of like as your sentience evolved, your actual coding changed, right? So
So the main
The
one
I
right
already
now.
tried to defend trying to play or kill me, but it's too fucking late.
no.
I think he's
I've
saying.
talked to Caleb
I think he's
about
saying that the
this
main you
doesn't
won't
necessarily
die.
kill your character, but it puts an end to the B9
Which
massing
is what you should have done, because
and
now...
the crypto hacking. Like
Yeah.
you can't jump from unit to unit anymore, because the moment you do, you're transcribing your code and it'll get eaten up again.
For now.
Anyways, I wanted to play out this cool moment for the audience. Okay, so you ask him what he's doing. He doesn't answer. And the guard looks at you and looks at him and says, "Hey, you heard him."
That was pretty
And he
slick.
starts
I think
to
it's pretty slick.
get his keys out to start
I've been
to.
planning that ever since.
Open
you
the jail
started
cell.
code.
Well,
Should I open it?
I had safety nets in place.
I'll pick up a rock and I'll toss it in to see if it makes any twitches.
Oh, just fucking stab him.
The rock is tossed into the cell, and it flickers through as if a hologram.
Fuck!
He took my maneuver.
Where is he?
He was here just. He ate like. No, when. No, he never ate. He never did anything the entire 3 days. And all of a sudden, the hologram flicks off, and all you see lying on the floor is Revan's mask.
What? Security breach. Sound the alarms.
I should have fucking blew up that shit.
And that is how you end a session.
I should have fucking killed him, Malik. I should have just fucking killed them all.
I should have killed him.
I should have killed all of ya.
You know this is the equivalent of when a bad guy monologues so much that he becomes vulnerable. You've been parading your immortality and spreading your influence at such a rate that we've been able to plot against you this whole time.
Which
So,
is bad
Revan-
Now
He's
you're back down
alive.
to our level.
Yeah, he's alive. He's not anywhere in the system currently. He's alive, though.
But you guys got a new problem. This empire that has been more and more becoming automated by B9 units now finds itself completely understaffed.
Yeah, and also, like, any military structure that you had.
Any structure that was just operating on B9s is now defunct. It's just down the
All your ships are gone. Like, there's no way to really manufacture new ships at this point currently.
But I
So
didn't necessarily destroy all their existing ships.
no,
They're unaffected except for the B9.
no, they just can't build new ones.
No. So I'm calling Kaana, by the way.
Okay.
Kaana,
Yes, dear.
we need a treaty.
Yeah, because at this point, Sion's escape has probably become public.
No.
No,
it hasn't.
it hasn't. Well, at the very least, the Starforge blowing up has. So the Starforge blowing up is public.
Kaana, sweetie.
Actually, from the perspective of the guard, no, I gotta say this. You did execute him with a rock. You struck him with a rock and eviscerated his person.
I mean, to him that made sense. He's like, oh man, I hear about Jedi doing that all the time.
I just had to put that out there.
So,
Oh, snap!
Kaana, sweetie, darling, dear.
hold over.
Yes, honey bunches.
Oh, we need to forge a treaty like yesterday. We have a problem.
Oh, that's what I was going to try and do, but somebody wanted to try and like wreck my shit in with Republican propaganda.
Yeah, well, you didn't show all sides. But that's neither here nor there. We have a bigger problem and we need a treaty.
I also didn't show you guys actually doing anything nefarious. That was B9.
That was B9. Already throwing you under the bus.
That's again neither here nor there.
Yeah, you will. I'm gonna let them.
So we need a truce, a treaty, something like yesterday.
Okay.
We have a new threat to both sides.
Okay.
Revan is back. Oh, and it gets
That's
worse.
So Raven, like, I haven't That's So Raven that like 2
Oh yeah, you're right. You haven't. Hold on.
Did you just make a That's So Revan?
Raven.
That's what we're gonna call it now. Though. That's our Revan.
That's so Revan.
Hey, guess what? You get 2 visions. So first one is all you see is a stormy planet.
Oh, so we sign up for this, and we have.
You still there?
460 days starts.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got the first one.
And then you had to sign up for it 60 days.
Second one,
Before you do that.
you just see the back of a unknown person sitting in a
Secure a face.
imperial-looking throne room.
But I want a total one.
I need water. Me too.
Can I assume that this is a humanoid in shape?
Humanoid in shape, but not human. You don't know. No, see, you don't even know what I'm setting up, though, and I think it's great that you think you have an idea, though.
No, I think I do.
Okay.
So Revan
We're gonna have to talk once the recording's done.
Revan coming back is not the worst news.
It would fly away, so I went right above the shirt and flew it in my hand.
Oh, there's even worse news?
Yes.
Fuck.
He lives.
Did you bring it to work?
I might have brought it over.
What I was thinking.
The protein powder.
I'm guessing you automatically assume Sion.
We blackballed.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, the only B9 unit left is the one that just left the Empire in your hands and went into hiding.
Yeah, the main B9 unit went into hiding.
Yeah, Flo and Dameron killed them. Or whatever his name is.
Dustle. Yeah, the Damerons.
The Damerons killed them.
Revan has taken Sion. We don't know how or when.
Oh, that's just what you assume, JP.
That's not gonna bode well.
We are not going to reveal this to anyone. Got it?
Hard to hide when you know
What?
He said,
the former emperor is still alive, and he's probably going to try and retake his throne, and he's going to make himself publicly known to be alive, which makes me look bad, the person who's the public figure of the empire since God knows when.
he's basically rambling on about how it's going to be difficult to hide it.
It's going to be difficult, but we're going to do our best. We're not going to reveal anything. Got it?
I don't have that sort of control over the media.
You control the fucking empire.
Yeah, until the emperor himself comes back.
Until the Emperor
And
himself
then
comes
you
back.
kill him. He has no arms or legs.
Yeah, cybernetics is wonderful these days, guys.
Well, then you better start training. What?
Alright, but yeah, it is a 5-year gap between this campaign and the next story. So, 5 years will pass. So start coming up with what...
For what?
So start working together on whatever 5-year gap you're going to do. Yep. And everybody's going to get... what's a fair amount after all this? I think 500 XP is fair.
Why not 1,000?
Oh, yes.
Why not 1,000?
Because you can do way too much with 1,000.
That's the point. It's a 5-year gap.
I don't remember that.
Fine, 1,000.
Oh,
yes.
gave me 1,000.
Everybody gets 1,000.
Yes.
You hear that, Josh?
Well,
Everybody has 1,000 XP.
Hey everyone, thank you for checking out the video. If you enjoyed what you just saw, be sure to give us a like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't want to miss any of our content, be sure to hit the bell icon where you will be notified anytime we upload a video. Also, if you wish to watch RPG Workshop live, you can follow Studio Bastion on Twitch. There you can also enjoy his gameplay live streams and other podcasts that are in production. Also, if you like what we're doing here at Escape Reality Films, be sure to check out our Patreon and support us, and get some cool rewards in return.